taka te au tutonga, kia mākina kina kiuta, kia mātaratara ki kai e hia kia kia tāpura, he tio e kuka hea hurunga, he mauhi ora. Mumua, o tātou ariki te rangi, a mihi kia koe i tuku mai ngā tiki kua kia mākau. Ko rangi kai runga te tuanui, kei raro te atua whaia, te mā kōrua. Te whare tua ke nei tutonu, e rau tira mā te mā kōtou. Kia matua. Hello, everyone full? No one fall asleep, please? School teacher on the stage, I can see. I've just come from camp and I'm really happy to be amongst adult company. No one is asking me where their clothes or shoes are, and I'm pretty sure everyone's wearing clean underwear and socks today, so well done, you're racist to me. I've been teaching at Glenview for 24 years now. The dreadlocks have a high degree here. My school was about 55 years old and it was built when a new subdivision was created in Porirua East to house a lot of the Mitsubishi car plant workers. We're a Vessel 1A school, very rich cultures in our school. Tokelauan is our main cultural demographic. We're lucky to be right next to the main marae for our Waipapi community. So we celebrate all of our cultures, but Tokelauan holds a special place for us. We even have 2 Pākehā children. They're treasured by us. Yeah. Where the blonde kids are, put your hat on. Yeah. Don't scream. We're kind of semi-rural. We're back right onto the Belmont bush. And in our valley at the moment, the transmission gully construction is taking place. So we're interested in future kind of developments there. And we've been testing our stream, doing all those kinds of things to make sure that the industrial kind of development isn't having an impact on our beautiful natural surroundings. So nature is a huge part of our school cultures and values. I spoke to a few people during the breaks, and I can attribute the seed to our sort of overarching health promotion to Mrs. Pauline Thomas, who was the principal in 1996. She joined the school in 1996. She was a child during the Blitzkrieg in World War II. So to her, being healthy, being happy was something that she knew was really conducive to good learning. We're in competition with lots of other clusters of schools around our area. And back in 1996, Mrs. Thomas and the board identified a lot of health issues amongst our children and our wider community. And as a response, and in order to promote good learning, she started to plant the seeds of change, which was controversial. A lot of our parents, when they found out about our healthy eating policy, were put off by this. So the shift in our Māori and Pasifika whānau in terms of showing love through food, which is a good thing, but not all the time, was something that we continue to have robust conversations with our parents about. Nicely from as a man. Our healthy eating policy has been recognised by the Heart Foundation. We've got the most awards at any primary school in the country. It's lucky it's not based on staff health. Healthy eating policy is something that initially had to be really strictly sort of policed. Policed probably not a good choice of words, but monitored. Because of the longevity of this, now it's just normal for our kids to know what's acceptable, what's not. Our new children who join our school don't take long to acclimatise, and I have a really sophisticated spy network. He's got chippies. So equity is an issue if there's not that happening. And who wants mosquitoes buzzing in the air about that? As I mentioned earlier, we have a multicultural school, so The cultural capital we have at school is really tapped into. We celebrate every language week with the gathering with our families. We promote our kids in areas of responsibility in terms of speaking, performing, hosting. We promote the genetic qualities in our kids. We want the government shift is to get our children to be more articulate, be able to explain their thought processes. More than one strategy can be employed to find the answer. The answer is not always the most important thing. Your ability to communicate, cooperate, use your key competencies is something that we value more now. So that's an amazing mind shift there. One of our points of difference is because we're like tacked onto like the back of a reserve, and we're cloaked in a blanket of a forest that we've planted and we've sort of maintained. We're a green, gold Enviro school. Anyone familiar with Enviro school, New Zealand? Awesome. A lot of the things that we learn in Enviro school time pertain to traditional gardening practice, traditional values pertaining to nature, kai te apitanga for tāne, Tangaroa. Where we are in Glenview School is where the source of the Cannons Creek stream is. We're very interested in potential impacts on the stream's health with the growing road at the top of our valley. And so our inquiry-based learning has been a lot this year based on finding out what's happening there and presenting our findings, so we're promoting the agency through there too. A healthy environment is something that we know is very conducive to good learning. Being healthy, going to school in a place that's beautiful, if whanaungatanga that exists is something that helps to create and sustain relationships. Good mental health is really pertinent to good personal health, spiritual health. So some areas in our thinking there. Teitur tuakana systems are at place in school and also in other schools. Our expertise in our health promotion, our Enviro schools promotion is facilitated with hosting, demonstrations. Our kids visit other schools and speak. Some of our kids are amazing at that. And there's a clip at the end that you'll need to wait through my gavel to actually see. Anyone familiar with PB4L in schools? Positive Behaviour for Life? It's a strategy where you are asked to identify core values that you are basically trying to impart into the students. So, manaakitanga, caring for each other, nurturing, akonga, reciprocity of learning, nature speaks for itself, and ainga, whanaungatanga. So we have 4 different languages there, covering 4 different cultural groups. Our small school is split into 4 houses, and every second week, on Friday afternoon, there are rotations where 5-year-olds up to 11-year-olds are in a collective activity sort of context, which promotes relationships between kids that might not necessarily come across each other normally. Requires the house captains that are nominated by the student body to take the sort of leadership roles from teachers. I always look forward to that time. Just put the taser away, no problem. Let the kids sort each other out. Don't make me go and get Cheryl. No, sorry. Choose your ogress and then impact your ogress. Mixed abilities, lots of different kinds of activities. Gardening activities there, tramping through the bush trails we have off school, sports activities, that kind of thing. Our sports program, we're lucky we have a swimming pool in our street. So we have weekly swimming lessons all through the year. Drowning statistics and putting all our stat reading. So again, we are trying to promote health by keeping people alive, but also predominantly giving them the skills to actually do that. good managing self-opportunities for my Year 6 boys whose mums often do lots of their jobs. Get your togs ready for Monday. Any togs? No? Oh. My passion is basketball, and I inflict this on my children at every opportunity. Keeping stats of the progress of games is a good way to get your boys involved in working at means, medians and modes. Also good analysis opportunity for work-ons, and good opportunities also to reflect on what was good about the performance. Again, our older children are in tutoring and mentoring kinds of situations with the younger kids running internal competitions and using their own organisational skills and their own nous to get these things done. We've been recently adopted by a local cricket club who's paid for all of our fees and made sure our games are at home to make it accessible for our kids from our community. I'm really looking forward to the first IPL contract. It's a P.E gear. Amazing. Polynesian people are a very untapped resource in cricket, particularly for bowling. They're rocket launchers. And we've been bashing each other with bits of wood for a long time, so it's natural. Healthy food promotion, like lots of schools, you see kids knocking on your door with boxes of chocolates to fundraise. One of the sort of challenges, I would say, in terms of our healthy eating policy and stance is anytime we need to fundraise, we need to be creative to think about a healthy way to do it. So we don't make exceptions. I think that consistency and that continuity is something that our kids in particular really take on board. I've been teaching at school long enough now to see parents and grandparents who I've taught perpetuate what they've learnt at Glenview in their own gardening, their choices of budgeting, their choices of nutrition, and in the values that they perpetuate with their own families. It's very satisfying. So, our student profile, the overarching the sort of blossom, the outcome that we are wanting is we're wanting healthy children in mind and in body. We're wanting kids that are able to be confident enough to articulate what they think, be able to have robust and friendly arguments with people they don't agree with, and also develop those values and those citizenship qualities that we require to create our future leaders. So one of the things, one of the things that we have as a whakatauki is na ako ngā manawa nui, ngā rangatira mua pōpō, ngā kaitiaki o te ao, active learners, leaders and guardians of the world. To conclude, I've got an example here of some of my senior students. I'll let them speak for me.
We are from Glenview School, Cannons Creek. So our school has been looking at the most precipice of our Cannons Creek shops.
You might have seen us with stuff in New Zealand. The food in front of us contains a lot of sugar, unnecessary fat and carbs. A bag like this contains more than 40 grams of sugar. One of my suggestions is that we should have limited sugar in the lunch breaks.
There should be no more than 7 grams of sugar in a lunch pack.
My suggestion is that workers around Canis Creek should have either stew fruits or vegetables in their lunch breaks.
My suggestion is that the lunch packs at Canis Creek shop should have one piece of fruit or whatever and a low sugar music bar.
Brilliant. So we're asking Potato City Council to help us. So we're asking Potato City Council if they can take our ideas into consideration.
If you could pass the message on to the Canis Creek shops, that would be great.
It should be no less sugar. There should be no more.
Okay.
There should be no more.
Because he's surrounded by bossy girls. I feel for that young man. And you can tell those kids hated to be on the camera. It's a good example of that happened after our interview with our staff journalists, which was a canvas for them sort of internalising what they could do about the situation with really cheap lunch packs that were available at the local shopping centre. Healthier food options were more expensive. So in our community, it's quite often not a choice that our parents have. It's where the gardening comes in. When you're being sustainable and you're creating your own food. It kind of like misses the pot. You don't have the issue of not having the money to be able to provide organic, free-range eggs. Or the multi-grain toast, which is better for us from Matula's presentation earlier. I really enjoyed the fact that Jamie at the start said that there's a myriad of things that you need to do to actually make change. I thought that was paka. Because I suppose the time that I've had here, I've tried to sort of think about the significant things that we do in our school to make that change. And we have seen over the last 24, 23 years really positive health changes amongst our kids. 3 black jerseys are in our wharenui from kids who've gone on to represent New Zealand in different codes, and there will be more. That's me. Thank you for listening and not heckling.